But he'd like be like across the fucking lake sending me text messages like with a flashlight. Like literally telling me like that's me with a flashlight.
One day he actually smacked my ass at work. I eventually told my mom. She was like, oh, hell no. She was dating this dude at the time, and he smeared the fucking blood all over this man's fucking truck and dumped all of the guts in the truck bed.
And the craziest fucking part is I had a dream the night before that someone died at my job. And then one of the other workers like approached me like an hour in and was like white as a ghost. And I literally was like, oh my God, someone fucking died.
Dead.
And he was like, how'd you know?
What's going on, internet? Welcome back to the Girls vs. World podcast. I'm excited to have you guys back here. Honestly, I have no idea where this episode is going today. So wish us luck and welcome. You know what's so funny is I feel so funny like welcoming you girls back onto the podcast. Like every fucking time I do it.
Just like, hey.
I just don't know how else to segue.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's up? We're all here.
Here we are.
We're back.
Everybody's here.
Oh man, I can't wait until we start having guests on this podcast.
Yeah, it'll be super fun.
I'm so excited for that. Now that we're in the new studio, like we have enough space.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot lined up that we can like potentially schedule for this segment.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Yeah. So if any of you guys that are listening or girls that are listening want to come on the podcast, hit us up. Let us know.
I'm sure there's a ton.
Yeah. Just let us know what you would want to talk about, because honestly, this podcast is like a no rules rule kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Just for funs.
Yeah.
And also, if you
funsies.
see us like asking questions on the internet, it's like cool to talk to us.
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
it's okay.
it makes me
Chit-chat.
feel less crazy if you could fucking do that for me. That
We
would
want
be
to
so
talk to you.
sick. Yes, absolutely. That's literally the whole reason that we're here. Should we start off with a banter box?
Yeah. So I actually, instead of that,
Okay.
I actually was thinking / like something prompted this thought the other day when I was like scanning the internet. And I wanted to ask you guys what you thought. So there was like this whole like cheating story that I saw, and there was like some like kind of like unpopular like opinions in there. There was like a lot of like back and forth that I was seeing in the comments. And so like I was thinking like, what do you guys define as cheating?
Oof.
Me personally, I don't think that cheating is limited to just like physical interactions with somebody. I think any interaction with somebody that you are trying to hide and is malintended is cheating.
Yes, I agree. That was kind of what I thought. Like, I feel like cheating is like anything that you like don't want your partner to know about.
Absolutely.
I
If you have
agree.
to hide it or lie about it, that's cheating.
That's cheating. Even if it's nothing like, I mean, even if like you're hiding something and then like it ends up being like fucking like nothing crazy.
Right.
Like the fact that you're hiding it is like, okay, there's a reason for that. And I think it's fucking shady and sketchy. And to
you
me,
knew what you were doing.
Yeah. And it's like a trust thing. Like I think like cheating is just like an invasion of trust, generally speaking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there was like a lot of like that nowadays. Like, for example, like one of the things I saw was like someone thought like, you know, I saw my partner was subscribed to like someone's OnlyFans, and like I broke up with them because that was like cheating. And like other people were like, oh no, it's not cheating. And I kind
Did
of
you
was
feel
like,
the need to hide it from me?
well, that to me, I'm also thinking like, okay, well, like one person's idea of cheating might not be the same. Like one person might be like cool with that. Like, okay, you can subscribe to people's OnlyFans if that's like how you want to like watch that sort of stuff. And other people that might just be like a boundary. And I think just like anytime someone tells you that they like wouldn't appreciate that, or that's like a boundary that they're upholding in a relationship, and you like go against that, to me that is
absolutely
cheating.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. I thought I was kind of like, I mean, the internet's like not real, right? So like I was like, there's no fucking way like all these people can't like see where these people are coming from in this situation. But yeah, I was kind of like, I feel like it could just be whatever. Like, cheating for one person might be completely different for another person.
But then, to those people that think that subscribing to somebody's OnlyFans is cheating, do they consider watching porn to be cheating?
Well, that's where, like, I kind of got that thought too.
Yeah.
And then for me, I'm like, well, I might feel funnier if like my partner was subscribed to someone's OnlyFans only because
it's that one specific person.
Right. You're not just going to Pornhub and like whatever comes up is whatever you're getting down with.
Right.
That
And
like,
also, like, is that somebody's like that you know?
Right.
Is that somebody and like also like
because how did you find their OnlyFans?
and you can talk to them.
Yeah.
So like I have like lots of friends that are on OnlyFans and I respect it as just like other normal work, but I don't know that I personally would be cool with that. I think that I would feel funnier about that because it's like you're seeking someone out specifically,
yeah,
and you might be even able to talk. Like you can talk to them.
Paying for it. Like
and
I
you're
think if you're gonna go to the extent to pay for sexual content from someone else instead of just having access to whatever is free on Pornhub, like now what are you watching it for? Are you watching because you just want to like get one off, or like are you actually like
you're invested?
Invested in that. Like I would have a problem with that.
Yeah, but
also, then you're probably fantasizing about that specific person.
But
like,
also, if you can pay for them to talk to you,
right?
So like that is kind of like a thing. So yeah, but then somebody else might be completely cool with it, and it's not cheating to them. But I do think in that situation, I think I would consider that.
I would
cheating.
too.
Yeah, and that was like one of the things that I saw when I was like scrolling through like the comments was like that sort of back and forth where it was like those like gray area situations where it's like, well, it could just be completely different depending on who you fucking ask. But there's people that are in like open relationships where they're like, okay, yeah, you can go and like have sex with other people, but like they also have boundaries where like cheating is still a thing.
Can we talk about for a second going off of cheating, like the fact that like it is okay for men and women to also like be friends. Like there is not always going to be an element of cheating when a man and woman are friends.
Yes.
I agree.
Because like I feel like there's a level of toxic masculinity that comes from men when they see a woman being friends with another man. They're like, oh, they have to be fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. I've got one of my best friends from literal 5th grade is like he's a guy, and I say like you'll be in my wedding.
Yeah.
Like anyone that dates me needs to be okay with us being friends.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they will have to be approved by you.
Yeah. No, that is like but
Alex was also like, nothing happened with y'all, right? Like, just to make sure. And I was like, no, people can just be fucking friends.
Yeah.
Like,
but here's a question, though. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, go right on ahead.
But what if something had happened in the past and now there's nothing?
That's different.
I think
that's different as long as you state what happened, as long as there's transparency about what happened.
Yeah, and then it's up to you to decide whether or not you're cool with that.
Right, because if I'm bringing my best friend who's a guy and something happened between us in the past, and I'm bringing him around Alex, it is my obligation to tell Alex and be upfront with him about what the fuck happened. So I'm not putting you in an awkward situation. And also I probably would never like feel comfortable bringing someone I slept with around my partner.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like weird about that.
Yeah.
Not even if you like slept with them and then you're like, oh, I'm never going to sleep with this person again. Like that was like a mutual agreement.
I think like that. I think it goes.
I've never hung out with anyone I've slept with afterwards.
Really?
Really?
I'm friends with some of my exes, and I also like know that there's people that I was dating that had, friends that maybe there was like a one-off thing. I mean, I know somebody where they, had sex with somebody one time and now they're best friends and they are roommates and they both have partners. Like it is possible, but again, I think that like communication and like transparency with that partner matters a lot. And I think also that person then has to decide what they want to do with it. Like, is it a deal breaker? Is it like a really close friend of yours? Like, and it's like, this is somebody that is going to have in my life. Like, you be there, be square kind of vibe. I think it really just depends. Like, honestly, and I also think that like in those situations, it like getting them comfortable with that person is also important. Like if it's like, hey, I have this friend who, we slept together and they're my friend. And you're not like, that person's not meeting them or like not invited to hangouts and shit like that. Like, that's a little fucking weird. But I think that if there's I want you to meet them and I want you to be friends with them too. And it's not fucking weird. And I want you to see that it's not weird. Like, I think that that's fine. But again, I also think gray area. Sometimes people just aren't cool with that.
Right.
And I don't necessarily also think that it would be wrong if somebody wasn't comfortable with that, if that was a boundary that they had too.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that, it just depends on the person, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What were you saying before I was cutting you off?
I don't remember.
Nice.
I have no recollection, honestly.
What is your craziest work story?
Work story?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I got so many of them. Do you want hotel? Do you want coffee shop? Do you want working at my parents' ice cream shop? Like, what do you want?
Your parents own an ice cream shop?
They did.
That's so fucking cool.
They did. It was very short-lived because they ended up moving to Florida and they sold it. But yeah, they did. It was really cool.
I always wanted to own an ice cream shop. That was like a goal of mine.
It was definitely like a fun little area. They
so
live in Florida
cool.
now. I'm like, why don't you fucking open up something
real.
there? That would
Yeah,
be
for
way
sure,
better.
year round.
Yeah,
The
it's
fuck?
warm there all the time. Well, for the most part anyway. I don't know. Global warming up. But yeah, I mean, we'll go hospitality.
Okay.
I worked in the hospitality industry, and there was like a couple situations where, like, obviously, like, trigger warning, like death. But there was, in the same year, there were 2 deaths at my job, and I was on the clock both times when that was found out. And the craziest fucking part is, I had a dream the night before. The first time it happened, that someone died at my job.
Okay,
Woke up the
wait.
next morning, texted Trav, oh my God, I just had the worst fucking dream that someone died at my job. Go into work, and then one of the other workers like approached me like an hour in and was like white as a ghost. And I literally was like, oh my God, someone fucking died.
Dead.
And he was like, how'd you know? And
Because I'm a witch,
yeah,
bro.
I was like, and that shit happens, which we can get into
Right.
that. Like, I get like weird situations where I
I got like 8
foreshadow.
responses to my paranormal about
Yeah.
like that exact shit.
Yeah, I have crazy stories about that sort of stuff where like I like summon people with my brain essentially.
Premonitions,
Yeah.
like-
No, I like actually actively get those and have been
Me
getting
too.
them since I was a child.
Me too. We should totally talk about that next.
What?
But yeah, that's fucking bonkers. But yeah, long story short, one of the situations was someone was out partying and they, they were abroad for work and they met somebody or they called somebody perhaps and they were doing drugs, and he was found by like the next morning. Basically, long story short, someone from that person's job was like freaking out, was like, hey, we tried to reach this person, they didn't come to the meeting, we're freaking out, like called the room that they're staying in, and it was like a crazy thing, and then yeah, they ended up being passed away.
So they have to like bang the door down.
Yeah, so basically,
Oh, I guess you all had keys.
yeah, but we have to knock,
I'm
like,
dumb.
we basically knock, like, a certain amount of times.
Yeah.
And then we can, like,
Enter.
announce ourselves and enter.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another situation where basically someone drove with a motive to end their life. And
No.
yeah, that was, like, a crazy situation. And that was the first time that I ever, like, got to, like, kind of see, like, the whole process of what that looks like, of, like, when someone is found and then, like, what the next, like,
Damn.
people coming to the hotel.
Trauma.
Like,
So they
clean
like
it up.
unalive themselves in the hotel room. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a really sad situation. And then, like, obviously I can't get into the details, but based on what we pieced together, like, and found out about that person, like, there was, like, legal stuff happening. I was, like, the manager on duty at the time, so I had to
Fuck
call.
no.
I had to
Calling
call
the cavalry.
Well, I had to call my boss,
Right.
and let her know. But then also, like, I had to deal with, like, the aftermath of that, like, other people in rooms, like, neighboring, being like, "What happened?
Right.
Did someone die?" And I had to be like, "I can't disclose that information, but if you
that's
need to,
wild.
Answer is yes.
if you need to move
Yes,
to another
yes.
floor, like, we'll move your room if you're uncomfortable
Right.
with what's happening." So yeah, it was like kind of a shitty situation. Another time, I like, not related to death, but another time I was like in the morning, I was basically being like harassed by a police officer.
Fuck the pigs.
Like sexually harassed by a police officer.
No.
Long story short, there was
protect and serve my butthole.
yeah, right. I'm saying.
Got it in
Put that
another
on a
episode.
t-shirt, man. Long story short, there was like a situation where like 2 people, like, they were running out of gas. And so they came into our hotel, and it was really early in the morning. They came in, they're like, "Hey, can we use your phone? We got to call the cops to like help us. Like, we ran out of gas."
Why would you call the cops for gas? Why would they have gas?
Because it was like literally like 5 a.m. and they were like, we don't know what else to do. So, and they couldn't drive anywhere. They didn't even know like where the closest gas station was. Like they did not know what to do. So I was like, okay, yeah. Then like squad deep, the fucking cops pull up with like assault rifles, like swarming these guys. Okay.
What?
And long story short, they had gotten a call at similar timing from somebody on the highway saying that there was like 2 people getting off the same exit with guns, and that like they were like threatening to like shoot or like there was like a threat of some sort.
That's crazy.
And it was like a similar like car, and it was a similar like 2 people. But obviously like it was like a a black father and his
so
son.
they were stereotyping.
So they were
like
definitely
racial profiling.
racially profiled, and it was so awful because like the guy, like after they cleared the dad and they were like still questioning the son, the dad came in and he was like, I had to call an EMT because he was like, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I feel like they're gonna hurt my kid. Like I don't know what to do. I'm like panicking, right? And I'm like, I'm just like, can I make you tea? Like I literally was like, I don't know what to do. So I like made this like poor man chamomile tea. I had him relaxing. He said he kept saying my chest hurts, and I feel like I'm having a heart attack. So I called the EMTs to get him checked out. Anyway, of course they ended up clearing them as fucking fine because all they needed was gas.
Right.
And then the one cop comes in and he's like, hey, can I get a cup of coffee?
Fuck out of here. No.
And I was like,
you racist.
I mean, I guess, but I was like, can
How
you
about
put your
you go to
fucking
the gas station?
giant
Right.
rifle away? And so then he starts like hitting on me. And I'm like 22, 23, and I'm like shook because I'm like, what, like I just had to deal with all that, and there's like mad cops around. So long story short, like I'm like yeah, anyway, yeah. And he kept being like, oh, are you single? I kept being like, nope, I'm in a relationship. Nope, I'm in a relationship.
That's why you're a cop.
Yes. So he ended up coming to the hotel like 3 days in a row after that for coffee. And then it was like relentlessly just being like, come on, like, let me get your number. Come on. And then he was like, I know what you're working with. I've like basically like commenting on my body. And it was just like crazy. So I ended up having to fucking threaten a state trooper with calling the cops on him. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, no, I'm not kidding you.
Exactly. That's my biggest fear, bro, is that I get wrapped up in some shit like that where it's like a cop's word against mine and like they are like doing their cop shit and like I get in trouble or like something bad happens
like, that's
to me.
what
Huge fear.
Exactly. Like the 3rd day in a row, I was like, dude, like you gotta fucking go. And he was like, oh, I'm just here for coffee. Like, and he was like a young, like handsome dude.
Starbucks,
so
bitch.
Clearly he thought that like he was, well, we were at Starbucks.
Oh, damn.
But he clearly thought that like he was going to like obviously he's not used to being told fucking no, and so I got pissed and I was like, you need to fucking go, and if you don't go, then I'm calling the cops. And I'm getting you fucking out of here, dude. Like, you don't like. And it was like a whole thing, and then he got like all bent out of shape and like left. And I was like, if I get pulled over on the fucking highway, I'm toast.
Right.
But so
I'm done for it.
Yeah. So that was like crazy, and then like in the meantime, Trav's like in fucking Vegas partying, and so he's texting me being like, yo, I'm so fucked up, we're at the Bellagio and blah blah blah. And I like called him and I was like, I just want to let you know like this happened the morning, and he was like, I don't even know how to like respond to this right now. Like, this is crazy, like because I just like went out for a cig and like told him everything. Right. And then like 3 days in, I was like, hey, I just gotta let you know again that cop just like for the last couple of days was like harassing me, and I had to like threaten to call the cops on him, like as if that's gonna. The guy probably was like,
was not even touched.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Any terror.
But
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was bonkers. Oh, you know what? I'll tell. We had a wedding party in house one time, and they were fucking going crazy. And the overnight auditor, poor fucking guy, he saw some shit. He was the guy that like also like had to report. You know, when like there were the deaths, like he was the one that was like getting the calls to check on the people. Besides the second one, but the first one. That poor guy, there was a wedding party one time and they had a late bar. So like the late bar is basically you run out a bartender and they keep the bar at like up to like 2 a.m.
Okay.
So after the party, like the wedding party, like after the wedding, they come back to the hotel, they party in the hotel, and then they go to their rooms is usually how it works. Or, you know, there's maybe other hotels in the area, they get Uber, whatever, blah. This one wedding party was fucking insane. Okay, number one of the guys pissed in the fucking lobby. Then they pissed in the fucking hallway. One of the other guys pooped on a plate and left it outside of one of the guys' rooms. And then there was also like a guy that ended up having to get kicked out because he was just being like drunk and he kept trying to get served and we kept being like, you can't. And we found him crouched over like a little ass kid, like lighting paper on fire outside of the fucking hotel. So we ended up having to call the cops because, like, what are you doing? Trying to start a fire?
You're
like,
probably seeing so many different.
But pooping on a plate and leaving it outside of a room is some fucking shit.
How the fuck do you poop on a plate? I can barely pee in the bushes successfully without getting some shit on my ass.
No, I always pee on myself.
Outdoor peer.
Oh, I love that for you.
I'm a professional.
No, I just pee on myself. I can't do it.
I do too. I basically will either get it on my clothes or I end up with leaves in my ass.
Yeah.
One of the two.
One or the other.
We used to walk home from the bar in college, and we used to always like be stuck with no bathroom on the walk home. So I used to keep a fucking roll of toilet paper in my bag.
You are so smart for that. You're so smart for that. I couldn't be me. I've had to pee outside a few times, and it just like didn't work any single time.
I don't mind.
But yeah, those are my crazy hotel stories.
So you want to hear my first crazy work story? So this is my first job ever. You guys are gonna think my family's so white trash for this.
No,
I can't wait.
So I worked at a pizza joint. It was like our local family pizza joint, and I was 14, first job. And I feel like everyone that has worked at a pizza joint or an Italian restaurant knows that there's always that one man that works there that is usually like the
creepy
owner, the pizza maker, that is going to be creepy as fuck,
for
right?
sure. Yeah,
they're going to be a predator.
Yeah.
They're going to be absolutely fucking terrifying. And 14-year-old me was a hostess at this pizza shop, and the fucking owner was very much creepy.
Yeah.
And he told me that I had to wear yoga pants as part of my uniform. And the one day he actually smacked my ass at work. I was beside myself because I was like, if I go home and tell my mom this, she's gonna fucking bring a baseball bat down here and she's gonna wild the fuck out.
Yeah.
So what did my dumb ass do? I came home. I didn't want to talk to her about it. I was clearly in tears. I was in shambles. I was not okay. Because I was like, I'm fucking 14.
Yeah,
and he's telling me about my ass, talking about my body, like touching me,
That's
like
so
telling me what clothes I had to wear. I was so upset. And I eventually told my mom, and her reaction was exactly what I thought it was going to be. She was like, oh, hell no. Like, my mom's a fuck around and find out rider. Like, because that's why I've never been the one to tell my mom shit when shit hits the fan, because that's how she reacts.
Because you know she's going to react
I know
crazy.
she's going to get a fucking bat. Like, that's just how she is. So I told her. She was dating this dude at the time, and he was a fucking war veteran, like Desert Storm war veteran crazy. Like, so this man,
I love
the
where this is going.
PTSD is knocking up there, and he is
looking
crazy.
You're looking for
like,
any reason.
He is just like,
yeah.
you unpredictable. So she tells him, he had just come home from hunting that day.
Oh, God.
So he is out back in the garage, and he is gutting this deer where my mom is telling him what happens. And he goes, all right. So he proceeds to take all of the guts and the carcass from this deer, put it in the back of his truck, and he went to the business where I was working at, and my boss had a brand new F-150, all white.
Oh, I love
And
where this is
he
going.
He smeared the fucking blood all over this man's fucking truck and dumped all of the guts in the truck bed and fucking left.
No shit.
I never returned for a day of work after that.
Did anything ever come
I've
of that?
never heard anything. I was like hyper fixating online trying to see if they posted any video footage from like the parking lot or anything like that. Nothing.
No shit.
He fucking knew exactly what happened, especially if you didn't go back to work. He knew exactly what
I hope that motherfucker did.
I hope
He's
so,
lucky
too.
that it was just that.
He needs to be on a list somewhere, and someone needs to fucking keep tabs on that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing these days?
But yeah, he got a fresh deer carcass in his car instead of an ass whooping from my mom.
That is
God.
bonkers.
Crazy.
I love that story.
That was the only thing that man was ever good for.
Yeah.
Other than that, he was batshit crazy.
Yeah, sounds about.
He was a rider though.
I mean, you kind of got to be a little crazy to do something like
Yeah.
that and not even think twice about it. So.
Yeah, I was like,
but I respect
I was
it.
terrified. I was like, they're gonna call the cops.
Yeah, I doubt that guy cared. He probably was like, okay, cool. Here's where I live.
Yeah, and what?
Yeah.
And what, right?
And what?
Did the cops in your local town know your family?
So not while I've been alive, but my dad, I never met my dad's dad, but South Jersey, like where they grew up, they knew his, like my grandfather, they knew him. He, like, there were times where, because he was just swinging and fighting all the time.
Because we were frequent fucking flyers in our town.
Yeah, no, they were, I mean, my grandpa, like, R.I.P. that guy, he was like so well known in town that like the cops would come and like to arrest him, and he would just be like, all right, like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'll finish dinner and I'll be, and they would just not even cuff him. They would be like, all right, cool, we'll see you in 15 minutes. And he would drive himself to the station and book himself.
I remember there was one
Shut the
time,
fuck up.
and I was talking to you guys about this upstairs, but I was at home with my brother for the weekend, my youngest brother, and I was watching The House for my mom, and I thought, I was under the assumption that he was allegedly participating in illegal activity out of my mom's house, and I was like, oh, hell no, you are not about to do this on my watch. Like, this bitch has kicked me out enough. I'm not taking the fall for this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, not having it. Like, I was like, yo, you need to get the fuck out. Like, you're not about to be doing this shit up under my nose in this house. You know me responsible. A fight ensues, because that's what always happens. You just start crashing out. Like, and there's always one sibling that is chasing someone with a knife, and there's always someone that is being chased with a knife.
Yeah.
And what happened was I took a Febreze can, and I chucked it at my brother's head.
Nice.
It missed, and it broke the knobs off the door.
Oh.
So then he proceeded to grab a knife and chase me, and then called the cops on me and said I was assaulting him. Oh. The cop walked right in our front door without even knocking and was like, Zach, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is happening?
What is going on here? And he was
basis.
like, arrest her, she assaulted me. He's like, bro, you got a knife in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, you are the one with a knife in your hand right now.
Doing?
Like,
yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, but he just walked up in our crib and was like, y'all.
Come on, you guys.
What's going on, guys?
Happening?
Like,
yeah, first name basis.
Yeah. And yeah, that was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about the fact that, like, if your sibling was not your sibling, like, who the fuck would that person actually be in your life? Like, I would not know you.
Well, it's funny because my brother's girlfriend sent me a meme the other day, and she said, behind every cool boyfriend is a cooler older sister.
Hell fucking yeah. That's
fucking
right.
Yeah, there is. And that is me. I'm just a cool older sister, but my brother actually, like, adores the shit out of me.
That's sweet.
Good.
I love that.
That's so nice.
So my older brother and my cousin, basically when I was younger, they would be able to be like doing their own thing, and like I was like the middle child. I was also a girl, so I would always be the one that was like cleaning up the house and doing all these things, and I would be doing it in tears because I would be like, you guys need to help me before mom gets home, and they would be like, fuck you.
Right.
Yeah.
So we would just get into fist fights all the time, me and my brother and my cousin. And there was one time where me and my cousin Clover, we were getting into it because we were playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the Nintendo GameCube, and I think we were like starting to take, we were supposed to be taking turns or some shit, because like we all had to like share whatever, and we started like throwing fists at each other, because like my mom was a single mom, so she was working, and so for a couple hours after school it would just be like all of us. I don't know what was going on, but we start going at it, and my cousin grabs a handful of my hair, and the way that he was like on top of me, and so I just like reached down and like bit the shit out of his calf. Just and I had his calf in my mouth, and he had my hair in his hand, and I literally was like, if you let go of my hair, I'll let go of your leg. And he had a fucking bite mark on his leg. That's great. And then the panic ensued of like, oh fuck, there's evidence. Yeah. You have a bite mark on your leg. And then I don't even know if his mom, if Aunt Jess, if you're seeing this, I need to know if you've ever seen this bite mark and what went through your head. But yeah, we got in, like, we were getting into it.
Is when you used to get into it with your family like that, and then it would get a little too serious, and someone would start crying. You'd be like, no, don't tell. Like, I didn't do it.
There was one time when we were like fighting, we were fist fighting, like punching each other and like kicking each other, and I went to go kick my brother, and he grabbed my leg. It was the coolest thing I've ever done to this day. He grabs my leg. I somehow spin kick my other leg up, flip around, and kick him right in the head. And then I fall back onto my back. And everybody just paused. And we all were like, whoa. Did you see that?
I tore an ACL doing exactly that
Really?
one time on set, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I should have gotten fucking hired. But it literally was like, I kicked him, he grabbed my leg, I spun back, kicked him with the other one. Oh my God. It was
That's
the coolest shit
That's
I've ever
called
done
a
in my life.
Tootsie Roll.
I remember vividly, we had a makeshift fight club that we hosted in our basement. But I'm one of 5, so
Yeah.
like I'm the middle of 5. So I have 2 younger brothers.
Yeah.
And my older siblings, so we had this. So this was before we all lived in one household together. I lived on one block, and my step family lived on the next block. So we were just at each other's houses all the times. And my mom's house was the one with the finished basement. We had a set of boxing gloves, and we had a set of Hulk hands.
All the Hulk hands.
We would give my 2 little brothers, we would give them one of each. And we would make them fight each other.
You guys were just like throwing money at them, cheering them
my
on.
older siblings would have all their friends in the basement,
Oh my
egging them
God,
on and
that's
beating the
so
shit out of
funny.
each other.
Fucking
And my brother
standard.
Noah was always inherently a little bit more like innocent, softer than my brother Zach, who
Yeah.
is just like a fucking pistol.
Yeah.
Like, so my brother Noah would just get young bulled, like time after time
poor
after
Noah.
time, and he would go upstairs and be like, "You're making me fight!" Like,
Yeah, we.
but my mom
kid.
would like, yeah, she wouldn't. She would just let us duke it out,
Yeah.
like.
I mean,
and
what do you do if you
conflict resolution?
Yeah.
I was
like-
just like looked at as the narc. Like nobody fucked with me.
Damn,
Like I was just the
You were the
fucking
cop.
narc since I was fucking born. Like I don't even know because I wasn't even ratting anybody out. But like I
Bree
just
was a tattletale.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually a tattletale.
No?
I just think that like I was the first granddaughter, first daughter, first granddaughter, first whatever. So like my cousin, he was great because he was the first grandchild. So congratulations, right? You can't do anything right. But then when he started doing shit that he was not supposed to be doing, and my brother was doing shit that he was not supposed to be doing, because I was the girl, I was immediately looked at as the one that was more mature. So I was in charge of everybody.
Oh,
my
yeah.
cousin,
Yeah.
his stepbrother, who was older than all of us, my younger brother, my cousin's younger brother. Like, so I was the only girl. So I was just in charge of everybody. And everybody was like just constantly looking at me like, Brianna's a mature one. We don't have to worry about her. Like,
Right.
Brianna's fine. Like, she'll keep them in check, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I was just immediately looked at as like a narc, like my entire fucking
Really?
life. Even though I was never telling on anybody for doing anything at all, that I learned the word narc at the age of fucking 6.
That's
really?
great.
That's
6 years
so
old.
crazy. Yeah.
But nobody fucked with me either, though, because they were
Really?
like, "Nah, she gonna fucking tell somebody." Like,
I when I was like, I wasn't like a bad kid, so to speak, but I did do like some shit. Obviously, everybody does shit when they're like teenagers or whatever. And so now every year for like Christmas, whenever I've had Christmas with my mom, one of my gifts to her is I tell her some shit that she like doesn't want to hear about. And one of them was that like, oh yeah, remember when you were a single mom and like me and Clover and Tim would be home we were getting into physical altercations. we were
actually brawling.
We were beating the shit out of each other, actually. But that's like how I learned how to fight. So I'm not mad about it.
My older brother taught me how to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but also like having family like that is cool because no one ever fucks with you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, well,
I
people fucked
always
with me in school. I relentlessly got bullied.
but like I always remember like other girls and like other guys like wouldn't fuck with me because I had an older sister and I had an older brother.
Oh,
and like
really?
they were in school with me at the same, like we
Yeah.
were like not too many years apart.
Yeah.
But like especially my brother, like if any dude talked to me sideways or even made fun of me because I got bullied a lot. And like
Yeah.
when I got bullied, like he would fucking go so hard.
I love that
Like,
so
not
much.
me. They were
every
afraid of
time.
me because my uncle was on the board of ed.
Damn.
Gotcha.
That was about all I had going
Yeah.
for me. That was about it.
I mean, I would have pulled that card out of my back pocket any opportunity. Don't listen, my uncle.
But my little brother's the same way
tell
now
you
though
what.
too. Like I used to young bull the shit out of my brother.
Yeah.
And then he got big enough to actually like beat my ass.
Yeah.
And now he is like, if shit hits the fan, that's who I call.
Yeah. I don't have anybody like that.
You guys-
None of us were fighters. Nobody. Like my older cousins on my dad's side are not like that. My younger cousin on my dad's side is not like that. My brother is probably the closest to what we have like that. And then my cousins, even on my mom's side, also not like that.
Got
Like
a peaceful ass family.
I would not be surprised if no one in my family has ever gotten in a fist fight.
Oh, but no,
That would not shock me.
We were
like I'd
fighting
be like,
each
oh, okay.
other.
We weren't like that.
I got jumped one time in 8th grade. I beat both their fucking asses.
I remember some girl threatened to jump me once, and I was afraid to go to the bus stop. And my mom was like, "Oh hell no! You better walk your ass to that fucking bus stop and stand there." And I dare her to put her hands on you.
Yeah.
If she tries, you better swing with all your fucking might. Like
That's you know what though? I feel like a lot of the times like parents like are like no, like don't like encourage violence, but like I feel like you don't have to encourage it. But if it's being threatened to you, like you need to encourage your kid to stick up for them.
Open a can of whoop ass.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
give them something to fucking be afraid of if they're gonna try and intimidate you.
Speaking of crazy family stories, I should probably. This is a lot, but that time period of mine reminds me that my family was like relentlessly stalked for like months, and that's not something that I talk about a lot, but it's actually a fucking crazy story. And like my mom is like, if you met my mom, you would not expect it out of her, but my mom like ended up breaking this man's like jaw and like arm with a fucking hockey stick.
Your mom followed me on Instagram.
My mom did?
Yeah,
I think she followed me too.
Yes. Oh, Soleil, we love Jen. I love that shout out to Jen. Yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, so like basically, long story short, my mom ended up dating this man. We later found out that he was like using drugs, and we didn't even really know. But she dated him for like a very short period of time. She ended up breaking up with him because he was like an alcoholic, and it was like you can't do this, and it was clearly an issue. And then like he would literally just like come to our house like every single fucking night and be like outside, please Jennifer, please Jennifer, please. And he would break into our house. There were multiple times where like I would wake up in me and my sister's room, and like my whole family would be in our bedroom with us. My mom, like, because he would just like find ways in. And there was a lot. Like we ended up having I guess like the only time in my life where like the cops kind of like knew us was because like during that period of time we ended up having like a system where like if the porch light was on, like the cops would like patrol and they knew everything was good, but if they were off, then like they needed to like basically come and check it out. And the way that our house was like there was like on the side of the house a driveway that went down and then behind, so he could like hide his car behind there. And it was crazy. He would like hide.
How did you guys have enough time to figure out he was in the house to put like the light on or not?
I mean, well, that was like kind of like a situation, is sometimes like it didn't fucking work, but it was bonkers. And there were times where like he would break in downstairs, and like we would have to like lock the one door and then run to the other side of the house because there was two doors to go upstairs. Lock them like both so that he couldn't get to the upstairs portion of the house.
So my question is, the cops knew that this was happening. Why were you guys not granted a PFA?
Well, at some point we were, but like I mean, my mom also like had like kind of like a bleeding heart situation, so like sometimes she would be like try and get through to him, and he would be like, okay,
girls are too fucking nice.
My crib though, like,
it was a really rough situation.
Girls are too fucking nice.
It ended up getting to the point where I mean, they also never like physically would like see him there. Like,
there would just be signs like, that he was there.
Yeah, like
that's even creepier when there's signs of somebody
sometimes
in your
like
house.
We would like come home and like it was clear that he was in the house while we were there and shit like that, or there would be like footprints outside of like the windows and stuff. Like it was fucking crazy.
It's like some fucking Michael Myers
yes,
shit.
It's actually bonkers. And like there were other times like in the woods too, like in the backyard, like we would find like beer cans and shit. Like he was like out there all night like drinking. It was fucking crazy.
Like the only thing in my head right now is the Michael Myers theme song.
Yeah, it was actually fucking bonkers. And then it got to the point where we came back from my dad's, because we used to go to my dad's every other weekend. And when we came back from my dad's one weekend, he was dropping us off, and there was 2 cop cars parked in our yard. And what had happened was my mom went out one night, and there wasn't like any activity for a little bit of time. So she thought, okay, like it's been like a week and some change. Like maybe he's finally like leaving us alone. So she went to her friend's house, and then when she came back, she was walking to the door, and he was hiding behind a tree and like pushed her in the house and like locked the door and ended up like assaulting her. And it was absolutely crazy. And like, she had to play dead, like legit. She like ended up playing dead, and he thought he like killed her and like scurried off, and she waited for like hours until the sun came up before she called the cops. But yeah, he like kicked my dog apparently across the room. It was like a whole crazy situation.
Holy shit, bro.
Then she was able to get, because there was like physical evidence. She was able to get a a restraining order.
After, like, maybe incident number 3, I would have had a gun.
Yeah. But you know what? My mom, like, she was, like, a single mom.
Even more of a reason to have a gun.
I know, but she didn't even, like, want that sort of stuff in the house. So, like, I remember, like, she had friends come over and, like, they would be, like, trying to teach her self-defense and stuff like that. But yeah, one morning before school, I will never fucking forget it. He was trying to break in the house. It was like 7 a.m. My mom walked out there with a fucking hockey stick and just started going to fucking town on him.
Good for her.
And ended up breaking his jaw and breaking his arm or his leg, I think. I don't fucking know. And he limped off and limped away.
Because like at any point in time, he could have decided today is the day that I get violent.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he did get violent.
Right.
Multiple
and then he
times.
did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like domestic violence is so fucking dangerous because it goes on and just builds and builds and builds 100%. Until your actual life is like it's life or death.
And it was crazy for us too because like as kids, like we liked him, so we were like, we know you're not supposed to be doing this. Why are you doing this? But also like he was nice as fuck to us.
Right.
There was like one time where he broke in and he like locked us in a room with him, and my mom was like banging on the door, and he was like, "Oh guys, don't worry, you're all good," and like put the TV on.
That's fucking terrifying.
He was actually crazy.
Bro.
Another time, like my mom, like he came, my mom like was like, "Guys, get in the car." We all got in the car. She tried to run from the house to the car, and he got a hold of her, grabbed the keys and threw them in the side yard. And then when she finally got the keys, she went to go back up, and he laid down behind the car like that she would have to like run him over.
I gotta run you over.
And I got out of the car and I started bawling because I was like, "No, you're gonna run him over, you're gonna run him over." And then she ended up driving down the fucking like driveway around the house all the way up the side in between two trees, like hit like side view mirror came right off and everything. And she went.
God.
He was following us there. She drove right to the police station and everything.
That's like a fucking scary movie, bro. Like, no, he held you hostage in a fucking room.
Yeah, but like, yeah, and then like we would be like, "Open the door. Like, what are you doing?" And then he would. But like, he was like trying to do that shit all the fucking time. It was bonkers. But yeah, my mom ended up beating his fucking ass with a hockey stick.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy. But like, I can't imagine like, and like, you gotta understand too, like, my mom and my dad at that point in time weren't really cool.
Right.
But like, my dad and my mom, they've known each other since they were kids. So they're like still like good friends to this day. At that time though, it was like not soon after they like had just split up. So it was like very tumultuous. But like, my dad was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Right.
Because like,
course.
Also imagine being like,
however far away you are and not able to do anything to protect your kids.
And you, exactly. And like, also like, you don't know, whatever. But like, I realized in recent years that my mom wasn't even like really super transparent about that with our family.
Yeah.
On her side.
So like, she was going through all that alone.
Yeah. Because she didn't feel comfortable like talking to her family. Isn't that fucking bonkers? And this is crazy. The craziest
She's so fucking lucky to be alive.
I know. But like, childhood, like it is so bonkers, like when your brain just like erases shit.
Yeah.
Because that was like something that like I can recollect, and still to this day I don't have like an emotional reaction to it at all. Isn't that crazy?
But it probably was so traumatic at like that.
Oh, at
trauma
the time,
just has a way of doing that.
I know.
Or like,
but I like, it's so crazy because when I tell this story as an adult, I'm like, I know this is so fucked up.
Right.
But I literally feel like no emotional reaction to it. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Absolutely
Holy
bonkers.
Shit.
Yeah. Childhood traumas, you know?
No fucking, we could do a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So I know that kind of got a little heavy, but yeah.
Well, I'm glad y'all made it out. That's fucking bonkers.
Crazy story. Yeah. So I also implore anybody who is feeling like they're like, I mean, there's so many situations where like people are like, "Oh, I feel like somebody's been in my house," and stuff like that. Like, just literally document fucking everything, because like that was part of the issue that I can recall, is I don't think that there was like a lot of like hard evidence of it. Like, if you have like a log of it, if you're truly thinking that like that stuff is happening, like you need to keep a log, like every little possible thing.
Get cameras for your fucking house,
because like how many situations where people are like, "Well, we can't do anything."
I see it every day at work where people get denied from PFAs and they have fucking bruises on them.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I deal with it I see it every fucking day.
It's absolutely
like,
crazy.
Domestic violence is one of the most dangerous things in the world that you could possibly deal with. Like, it is the most riskiest thing.
I think also though, like, if you are starting to feel like something is off, something probably is off.
Right, absolutely, every time.
I think I was being harassed when I was in high school. I want to call it stalking, but I have to say it's like light stalking, because This person had my address. They knew where I lived and were never physically coming all the way up to my house. There's a fucking gate around my house. So, like, they were stopped by the gate.
Right.
But, like,
Thank
would
God.
make it very known that they were there when I wasn't answering them and when I wasn't texting them. And my parents were super nervous about this shit. And, like, my mom, I remember, was like, we just need to get you away from this. I'm going to call this. We just need to get you this guy away from fucking.
Right.
And I need you to move to California as fast as fucking possible. I moved like 2 days after I graduated high school because the situation was so out of fucking control. And I was dealing with this motherfucker throughout my entire fucking time in high school.
Wow.
That's literally
and
terrifying.
This person was like low key, like my friend. But, like, then you realize that there's, like, an obsessive, odd, like, thing. And, like, I think now as an adult, like, reflecting back on it, I'm like, oh, shit, you were right. And I honestly think that this person was the one that started this, like, crazy-ass fucking rumor about me when I was in high school. We lived next to a lake, and they found a dead body washed up on our dock. Like, stuck
You told me about
on
this.
our fucking dock, yeah.
Whoa.
And everybody in school, like, I remember getting off of the bus. My
That's
mom was like trying to send us to my fucking cousin's house. Like, I was already at the house by the time that we had figured it out. The cops were there, all this shit, whatever. We sent my brother to my cousin's house because we thought that he was a sensitive one. No, it's me. But I think that this kid is the reason that this rumor started about me when I was in high school, because I feel like he was at my fucking house when all of this happened, because
Yeah.
I didn't fucking tell anybody shit. There were the only other people that were at that bus stop that would have known what the fuck was going
Marley.
on. Yes. Were literally my neighbors that were like my best fucking friends and grades
I
below
literally
me.
have chills on my body.
Literally grades below me. So there's no fucking way that was them. And if there was nobody else that lived in our fucking neighborhood outside of that, like even generally in our like fucking vicinity that was in the same school as us at the same
Yeah.
time, there's no way that it was not him probably being at my house when I was getting off of the
Right.
bus, as he was multiple other times
Right.
before, just like fucking
Right.
lurking somewhere. And like I lived in a super woodsy area.
Bruh,
So
that's
easy.
terrifying.
That's
'cause I know
Yeah.
exactly how that cul-de-sac is set up.
Yes.
And there's so many places to hide.
Yeah, that's literally so terrifying.
And it's on
Yeah.
a lake, so he could have been fucking back there, like anywhere. Like
I had seen him across the lake multiple times. Yeah, because my bedroom window was literally facing the lake. And I could literally see like across the fucking lake. Like he'd be like sending me text message. I would have like 120 fucking messages, which I think to this day is part of the reason why I won't let my fucking text messages get out of control, because
Right.
it just gives me like a response. As if,
yeah,
like, back
you know
then.
what? You're calling it like a light stalking.
That's like full-blown
that's
stalking.
But I think because he was never physically like at my actual window, but like you couldn't get into my fucking.
But that's what I'm saying.
area
Because
of
he
my
couldn't
house.
get
As far
there.
as he
The
could.
intent
Yeah.
would have been to
Right.
get as close as he could.
Yeah, but he'd
also,
like be like across the fucking lake sending me text messages like with a flashlight, like literally telling me like that's me with a flashlight, like on the other side of the
No.
lake, and I would like
What
look
was,
out my
like, the
fucking
intention?
bedroom
what does your
window.
dad do? Because if I was a dad in that situation, I'm going batshit crazy.
My dad did not know.
yeah. Oh, he didn't know about it.
What?
Yeah, if my dad listens to this podcast, it's gonna be the first time he's hearing about it.
Oh, that's bonkers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Probably.
But my
because-
dad knew that there was something wrong with that kid because my mom had told him
Mm-hmm.
multiple times. Like she's like you need to look out for this specific exact person.
That's crazy.
That's actually crazy. Yeah. I mean, honestly speaking, like that. I mean, you also don't know, like, if he's hiding from you, and you don't know, like, how often, like, he was there when you didn't even know it.
Well, right,
He could have
because
been
when
doing
you're
That's
shit
trying
the
when
to
he's
scarier
scare
part
me,
is how many times you didn't know.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, because you're trying to scare me into talking
Right.
you, so you're
Right.
making your presence
Was that
known.
the intention? Because I was gonna ask, like, what was he texting you? Like, just wanting to talk? Like, that's so scary.
Yeah, literally threatened to like fight Josh when Josh moved back to our school because like Josh had moved away from our school. This is literally why Josh and I broke up so many times, because Josh kept moving. His family kept moving. Every
Right.
time he would move, we would break up. And literally when Josh came back to our school when we were juniors, like this guy was like threatening to fucking fight Josh just because we were like in a relationship and shit. Like,
Did you
fucking
like?
wild.
Did you like talk to him in school or anything?
The guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like friends for like a while.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, talk about fucking crazy
No,
dynamic.
I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, the shit was scary as fuck. And I think also like I've had so many other incidents of like light stalking because of the like videos and stuff that I post on the internet. I'm always super careful about like where I film and what I'm showing and how far away I am from my house. And like if I go into like a fucking grocery store or the gas station, for example, like I won't go to a gas station like near my house because people will be able to find that gas station if you figure out what intersection I'm at and I'm right across from my fucking house. It's not hard for you to go around looking for one of my cars parked out front. I had somebody that was an active viewer of my YouTube channel took a picture of my race car outside of my house. I had it parked out there for like probably 2 hours because I was moving a bunch of shit around. And this person was like, haha, I figured out where you live.
Terrifying. And immediately calling the police.
Yeah, sent me a DM. And then they were like, I'm not like stalking you. I just wanted you to like let you know in case if like this was like happening with like other people and whatever, blah blah blah. I had another follower of mine one time figure out exactly what flight I was on. Figured out exactly what fucking flight I was on because I took a picture of the goddamn flight map. And they knew exactly where I was going and like where my plane was. And I was fucking terrified. Like I was like, I don't know what coast you live on. You could be waiting for me at fucking Philadelphia airport.
Why are you looking so that in depth? Like if someone, that's so fucking creepy.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's scary. And I've always like, I don't know if I've just like psyched myself out of the situation where I'm like, it's like stalking. Like it's okay.
No, that's like all stalking.
Yeah.
No, that is, those are like cases of stalking. 100%. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. No, that shit is, So if anybody thinks they're being stalked, like you need to like really take that shit serious for sure. Cause like you don't know how far it could go. Like people that do anything even remotely close to that, like where they just want to like scare somebody into even just a reaction.
It's not even a funny joke.
There's something wrong with you, and you don't know how far that person could possibly like intend to go with it.
No, and unfortunately, I feel like women are such victims of like just the scariest shit time and time after again. And for some reason, we have a tendency of like writing it off because we don't want to seem crazy.
People make us feel like we're like being dramatic or like whatever. It's like it's crazy.
No, but you have to fucking talk to someone.
You have to follow your gut and follow your instincts. Like if something feels off, something is off.
Yeah,
every time.
No, 100%. Like that's,
in relationships with men, with strangers, at your house. Like if something feels off, it is probably off.
Yeah, I just saw this story. A little different, but like about gut feeling. I saw this story. There was this girl who said when she was younger, when she was a teenager, she got pregnant. She befriended somebody who was also allegedly pregnant. I say allegedly because she ended up not actually being pregnant. But yeah, one day she was at her house. She was like 8 months pregnant. She said that she wasn't able to go to her baby shower, but she had gotten her gifts. So she was like, oh yeah, I have gifts. Like turn around and I'll like place them each in your lap. So she was doing that. And she said she thought that was weird, but she was like, whatever. She's my friend. I've been friends with her for a while. Well, long story short, she ended up like having a really weird feeling because she said that she had gotten her this like light thing that like shines on like the ceiling of like the nursery for the baby. She was like, oh, we'll go into your room and like I'll turn it on and I'll show you. And she said that the way that it was she had her turn around, all the lights were off in the room. She said she just like felt like she was in danger. So she stood up, put the lights on. She said that like the girl was acting kind of weird after that, but she was like, maybe I'm just like being paranoid. Like, why would this girl hurt me? But she felt like she was in danger.
Right.
And then the girl ended up lighting, like so many things happened, and the girl ended up lighting a fire in her closet. Okay.
In the same day?
In the same day. Because the girl was like, I just was like watching her behavior after that. And like an hour later, she asked if she could like try on clothes that night in my room to go on a date with her husband.
She was going to lock her in the room and set the house on fire.
Well, she was trying, it later turned out like she told the cops, because the cops had to come. There was a fire in the house. Of course. The girl was having contractions, so she was getting seen in the ambulance outside. The girl was actually having contractions because she put the fire out while she's 8 months fucking pregnant. So, but it was confirmed with the hospital that she was not pregnant.
Right.
And then the girl said to her friend, I don't know, I thought that she was trying to, like, I just got this feeling that I was in danger and, like, she was going to, like, kill me and take my baby out. And, like, she was like, there's a bag upstairs, like, because the friend ended up telling the cops. And she was like, you know what, there's a bag of her stuff upstairs. Like, if there's knives or anything crazy in the bag, that'll confirm it. And they
Right.
went upstairs and there was like 2 butcher knives in it, and there was like some like crazy like sterilization tools and stuff like that. Yeah, and then
Chills again, literally.
and then it ended up being like even just like a small gut feeling that her friend was gonna hurt her for no reason. She thought it was for no reason. She felt silly even telling anybody about it. And then a week later, the girl turned herself in and said, yeah, because she said that the fire started in the closet because they were smoking weed. She was like, why would you say that?
If
She
you're
was
both
like,
pregnant.
I never, yeah, that's what she said. I'm pregnant and you're pregnant allegedly
Right.
too. Why are you telling them that we were smoking weed? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I don't even know how that fire started. I never said that. And then it turned out that she basically admitted that like the plan B was that she was going to like she wanted her to pass out from the smoke so that she could take the baby.
Oh my
Isn't that fucking bonkers? So yeah, literally gut feelings.
Gut feeling,
for women
that's
is like a
insane.
superpower, especially like it's crazy. Like you can get a gut feeling walking by someone in a
Right,
fucking grocery
absolutely.
store. Like you know exactly who and who not to like talk to. So yeah, follow your gut every time.
Paranoid.
I'm tweaking. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like
Walk into my car,
tweaking for like yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but like yeah, being a girl's scary, man. I mean, being
It is, and people try to make us seem like we're fucking crazy.
yeah,
And that's where you gotta worry about girls too, because that was a girl that's being crazy.
Girls are crazy too. Girls are fucking crazy too.
oh, girl, we know. We
I feel like
know.
we need to end it with that.
Yeah.
Because
Should we end it with that?
Paranoia inducing.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
that took quite the turn, huh? That's one thing about our podcast is you really never
Did we
quite
just turn
know.
into a true crime podcast?
Yeah. Okay, baddies. What are they call it? We gotta come up with like a funny little like a little name.
Little name for the
little bit like
listeners.
I don't know what to call it.
For the
Yeah.
listeners. God damn, yeah. If y'all have a name that you want us to call you by, let us know what the fuck it is.
I was thinking like a true, like you know those true crime podcasts. They'll call each other like, okay, my little cutie slaughter girlies or whatever.
yes.
Like, yeah, like there. It's always like something like that. Yeah.
Oh my god, holy shit, you guys. Well, the last episode we didn't do any group chat gossip. Do we just fucking wrap it up?
I think we
Hard
just wrap
left?
it up.
Hard
Wrap it
wrap
up,
it
girl.
up.
This whole thing was a group chat gossip.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. This is a whole group chat in one. Like the amount of random shit that just happened to be in this episode.
God.
Like you just don't know what you're gonna get.
We like totally blew by all the premonition shit too.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta talk
We
about
can do a
that
whole
shit.
episode about
okay,
that.
Yeah.
Okay, when we come back, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good. I'm gonna put it in our
In the note
Yeah.
thing, thank you very much.
because I got some fucking shit to tell you guys.
Y'all are gonna think I'm fucking crazy.
no, you're gonna think I'm crazy
And
for
if
sure.
not, my therapist is gonna be like, "Yo, I'm about to lose my job."
What an episode, y'all.